Oh, it's already recording magically. All right. Well, I think we can kick it off here. Diana, if you could do me a favor, and just if you see more people in the waiting room, I'll add you as an admin, co-host. Yep, there we go. So that way you can let people in if they come in and I'm not paying attention. So everybody, welcome. This is our community conversation on the Autodesk 40th birthday. The actual birthday is Sunday, and we thought nobody's going to attend an event on a Sunday, so we'll do it today. I've got special guests with us today. I've got Kean Walmsley of Autodesk out of Switzerland, Misha out of San Francisco, and Robert Burns. You may know Robert. Robert is the gentleman behind Retrocad, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have a little special fun with him here. All right. So just a quick introduction before we get started here. My name is Sean Hurley. I'm the Autodesk Community Engagement Manager. I've been at many roles in Autodesk since we're talking historical. I've been here 24 years, and I was a customer using AutoCAD and 3D Studio DOS and all that, and 3D Studio Max before that. I'm the author of Between the Lines blog, and I'm based in sunny Bend, Oregon. Kean, introduce yourself, please.
Okay, thanks, Sean. So Kean Walmsley, in my 27th year at Autodesk, I guess. I've spent a lot of years in the developer network. I see Dawson, you're out there. So Dawson's been there from the beginning as well, in the, working with us. Yeah, so I guess I joined after leaving the developer network team. I was in the AutoCAD team as a software architect, working with Misha and others for about 5 years, and then moved across into research about 6 years ago. So now these days I'm working on stuff that's a little bit further out, or over the horizon, which is kind of fun.
Excellent.
Okay, over to Misha. Yeah.
Hi there, Misha Belilovskiy, located in San Francisco, Russian-Ukrainian accent, but, working in American office, of course, almost 25 years now, soon to be 25. All this time, majority of the time, working with the AutoCAD team, on different projects, on different products, in different capacity, but doing AutoCAD and making sure it's alive and well. So, thank you.
Excellent. Mr. Burns.
Well, hello. I'm Robert Burns, and I've been using AutoCAD since 1986. Over the past couple of years, I've started up this YouTube channel called Retrocad because I still have all of this hardware and I love it. So that's what I do.
Thank you. I can't wait for you to show everybody what you got going on. And thank you for everybody joining us, man. There's some familiar faces in here. Hans, Clayton, wow. All right. Before we begin, I got everybody's line muted. If you have a question, throughout here, raise your Zoom hand. It's in the little bottom corner, or put it in chat. This is recorded. I'll send everybody a link after. And yeah, there's a little raised hand there. We're talking about a retrospective 40 years in the back, but inevitably somebody could talk about what we would like for the future and products. So anything you hear that's not in a shipping product, lawyers will always get upset. So we just want to make sure that you make any decisions purchasing products based on the currently shipping product. So, all right, now that we got that fun out of the way, we're doing this in the envelope of a community conversation, kind of a modified one today. It's kind of a fun event, birthday of Autodesk. But I wanted to kind of make sure that everybody's aware that we have these community conversations that deal with our products. And so it's an opportunity to connect and network with others and ask questions. So I would encourage everybody to consider doing those. This one's just a little different. We're starting back up this year. Next week, I believe we have a Dynamo one, and that'll be a lot of fun. And then we have some Revit, and we have some AutoCAD electrical, and we have some Fusion ones we're putting together right now. So a lot of good stuff coming up for the year 2022, led by our great and fantastic community managers. And So it's a great opportunity and program. Oh man, I'm just getting distracted by all the people joining. Karen Mason, good to see you. All right. So let's go back on the history a little bit here. This is a lot of fun. This is back in the early days. Autodesk was founded as a corporation. Before that, not many know, and I've actually seen what they did. They built CPUs. They actually were doing hardware. There was a little Marin technology company, and they decided they were going to build software for these PCs that were coming to the United States, and there was no software for them. So they were going to figure out what they were going to do. Interesting group of characters. If you've ever met one of our early founders from you can see them in the flying founders photo down there. They're always really kind of an interesting group. On the far right there, you see the Autodesk, a simple program in a complex world. That's a fun story because the original founders of Autodesk thought that this contact manager called Autodesk was going to be the future of the company. They didn't even know what CAD was at the time. So the actual product was Autodesk, and it was, I believe, by Duff Curland. Just a simple contact manager. I mean, these founders were ahead of their time. They had the original first, it was basically what was eBay. They had all kinds of crazy things going on back in the day. You can see the earnings in the early years weren't that great, but you know, they always like to use their own products. They used their own products in the early years to report their numbers and their presentations. You know, there wasn't PowerPoint back then, but we did have our own Autodesk products that you could do slides. So, and on upper left, you see the famous AutoCAD nozzle. And fun fact of that, it's sitting in a box here. Kevin Schneider gave me the actual physical nozzle that was given to him by Don Strimba, who did the original sample drawings of that. Might as well just get it out of the, this is before I joined Autodesk. I was a customer. I was on the AutoCAD R14 demo CD-ROM. It's not a very good picture of me. And it's one of the rare times I actually wore a tie. But it was fun. It was a good time. I was a customer. I was a beta customer back in 12 and 13 and 14. So, and just a little defense, AutoCAD R13 C4A was good. So took a bit to get there. And that's why I joined the company, you know, to come down and change the product I used. The last birthday we did, I was on Augie World, you know, for the 25th. So it's amazing to see that we're still, you know, here at 40 years. You know, we might laugh at how archaic some of this stuff looks. This is a Retrocad box that I have here. It just won't boot today, but I run AutoCAD 1.2 on it. It's a blast. But if you look at some of this stuff, you may giggle a bit and go, wow, that's so primitive. No undo. You know, I think there was 28 commands. But think of it in this context. The stuff that we're doing today, the tools that we use, the phones that we use, think of somebody in 40 years from right now looking back. They're going to laugh. What do you mean you held a phone in your hand? You know, come on, we have an implant. Who knows what they have? But you know, it's time. So I love looking at the old history. It also tells a story and the people involved. And then also, you know, if somebody comes and tells you they're going to do something, but they've never done it before, it's pretty hard to kind of have the great confidence in them. But the way I look at it, you know, if you show somebody that, hey, we've been around 40 years and this is how far we've came, when they tell you the story where they're going for the next 10, 20, 40 years, you're more likely to believe it and have the confidence in it. So that's my own personal philosophy here. Some more of the photos from the 40. It's just fun to share. I've got original Revit 1.0. They weren't with Autodesk. The acquisition was, I think, 5.6 or something like that. But it's always fun to show that, you know, back in the early 1.0 of Revit, you could do a box building. And that was about it. You know, the floppies, the original floppies there. You know, I've got Auto Sketch bicycle model. The you know, designed with AutoCAD license plate holder. It's just, I love seeing this. You know, even how our brand, our logos have changed over the years, from the calipers to what it is today. You know, we've got Autodesk, you know, the inventor 1.0 in there, and the team that signed their poster. Fun fact, I'm going to turn off my background here and share. Let me see. Just changing my background here. Otherwise, it'll hide everything. All right. So you get to see my dirty office, but you see I've got right here. This is the AutoCAD 2000 team signing a poster. We used to do, back when we used to ship boxes, we used to do a first print of the box, and then it folds up, and that's what it is. And we would call it first article. And I had the team sign it. We've got, everybody got Carol Bartz and, the whole team on that. It was a lot of fun. Memorabilia is always fun. R14 flip-flops, when you walk in the sand, it would put our AutoCAD R14 in the sand. Catalyst magazine was just a little pamphlet, like 8 pages. Old manuals. I've got so much stuff, but it's always fun to go back and reminisce of how far things have come along to where they are today. There's the old manual. Look at the logo. It's pretty wild. Some of the early ads. I like this homage to Star Trek. Expensive. One of the things I wanted to highlight is the people. When I think about the 40 years, it's not necessarily the products, it's the people. I would say a lot of these photos here are the Autodesk employees, their family, right? The AutoCAD team, the good times we had in the upper center there. You see some of the founders sitting at what was the founders table. They would have these little meetings, and they would have their garlic bread and Diet Coke and a beer, and sit and talk with the employees. And I wasn't there then, just to be clear. I've only been with the company 24 years. In the center, there's a photo of some of the employees sitting on a car. Fun fact, one of those people is on my current team. So it's awesome. I won't out her, but anyway, she's there. Down below is our Sausalito employee office team. Far right, you can see Kean there. Man, there's Krister. It's the people, it's the customers that I've met over the years and seen what they designed and built using our tools that just blow my mind. That's what has caused me to always be the unofficial Autodesk historian. I just enjoy that. It's the people of the story that weaves beyond just the software and the hardware. That's why I'm wearing this, because Misha's wearing his. These are our little fleeces from AutoCAD 2000, codename Tahoe. In the upper, you can kind of see Spider-Man. We had an inflatable Spider-Man in our QA lab. It was fun. But yeah, again, this is when I talk about family, it's hard to draw the distinction between my real family and my work family, and that extends all the way out to the customers. So when somebody says something about Autodesk or an employee or a customer, I take these things personally, and I always have and I always will. So it's a deep thing. So I posted in our conversation discussion area a message from John Walker. I talked with him last week and got a little, he had a couple links there that he wanted to share, and it's always fun to go back and read, his perspective. He always laughs. He goes, man, I remember when the code was like 2,000 lines of software code. I don't understand how you guys are doing it today. And you see the comment there where it becomes clear that work was about 40% actually designing features and implementing them. 60% was trying to make it fit on 64 kilobytes of memory. That was the thing. Back in the FAR lab and the QAM, the memory managers, when we used to have to use AutoExec bats to swap between different configurations of AutoCAD. So it's come a long ways, and it's fun to talk with John. I actually went and met with him. Kean's met with him. Kean did a great series of historical perspectives on Autodesk and the history. John's an interesting character. He's the only person I can say that has webcams not developed in his laundry room. And I asked him why, and he said, because I might have a leak there someday. All right, John. All right, let's let Robert share. Let me give you a share here. I'll stop sharing. Are you ready, Robert? You got to unmute there, sir. And
I have pressed the buttons.
all right.
Right on. Well, hey,
You can
everybody.
share.
Are you looking at my screen?
Not yet.
Let's try this. Share my screen.
No, it's better. He's just showing it, doesn't need to share.
All right, I think we got something going here. No, we're seeing a Zoom broadcast.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, you're sharing the app. You want to share your desktop.
I am on my phone.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
he's just showing the screen over the phone, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know how we can expand it because we can't watch that little postage stamp.
Wait, pin Robert.
Yeah, pin. Yeah, use the ellipses and you
Yeah.
can pin to
Okay.
full screen.
Exactly.
How's that?
Yep.
All right, Robert.
Am I any closer? Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Well, hey, here we are in AutoCAD version 1. And yes, there we go. So I'll just tour you around quick. We've got the screen menu, obviously, which is the greatest way to choose AutoCAD commands that was ever invented. You can cycle through a number of different screens. Up on the upper left here, we have this little FOST indicator, which shows your fill, ortho, snap, and tablet mode. And next to that is an indicator that shows what layer you're on. We're on layer 1. So I've just drawn a little Autodesk birthday cake, and I'm going to draw it in like 1 minute here. Let's see what it takes to draw this. There's no ellipse, so I'm going to use the arc command. I'm going to line an arc up with this existing cake that we've already drawn, just so I get the size approximately right. So there we've drawn the arc, and we are going to move it. There's no shortcuts. There's no hitting the escape key. So I've got to tell it what my displacement is first, pick that displacement, and then go back and choose the entities that I want to move. There, now we've moved them over there. Same goes for the copy command. I'm going to choose my displacement, and then I'm going to go back and tell it what I want to copy. Wow. Then I'm going to draw a line and connect these guys up at the end here. There's no O-snap, so I'm using the snap feature. It'd be great to be able to pick, some kind of O-snap, but that wasn't a thing yet. So I'm going to draw this other arc just to top it off. Pick my direction. Nice. It's reasonably similar. I'm going to give myself a pass there. To draw these candles, I'm going to use the trace command so that I can have a filled in object. I'm going to make it about that wide. I'm going to do the center one first and just draw it up to here and right click, and there we go. Now I've got one of my candles made. I'm also going to insert an existing candle that I already made, because that's how it works on these cooking shows. We'll put this candle right here. Nice. I'm going to copy these guys around, and as you might recall, you've got to pick your displacement first, move it over to where it's going to go, and then pick the object. Incredibly brutal way to draw. And just for kicks, I'll insert another one. And you got to type everything every time. And now we're going to put in our text. And there's only one text command, and it's text. So we're going to make it centered. We're going to center it here. We're going to make it this tall. Nice.
This is going great, Robert. I will mention for everybody here, there wasn't the undo. And so how you undid things, if you made an error, I mean, granted, back then we didn't make errors, but you would just not save. and then you would just restart AutoCAD.
Right.
And that's how you did it.
And then to change this text, I can't really scale it because there's no scale command. So I'm just going to use the change command, pick the last object, leave the intersection point, by which it means insertion. And then, oh, I forgot to put the height in. So let's just do that again. Our new height, I'm just going to guess and say 1. Nice. I'm going to move that guy from here over to the relative center of this cake. Pick our last object. Oh, not bad. Up a little more. Thank you. And now I'm going to do a redraw to get rid of all these blips. I'm going to just pat myself on the back for drawing this thing live.
You got 35 more candles to go, Robert. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I guess I could do an array.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Is there an array command yet? Oh my gosh, there was.
See what it does.
Oh no, I missed. Rectangular, huh? Okay, we're going to do 1 row. We're going to do 40 columns. Who knows what's going to happen right now? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, you got what you asked for.
Yes. Awesome, Robert. Anything else to show before I hand it back?
Y'all are welcome to follow me on Twitter. I'm at Retrocad. And of course, I'm on YouTube as Retrocad. Search it up. Come on by.
Excellent. All right, sir.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate that. It's painful watching that. No O snaps. All right. If you can just give me the share back, I would appreciate it. And then I'll share my screen.
Let's see how you do that.
Let's see. There we go. I got it. All right. We want to open it up to sharing here in a minute, but first let's hear a perspective from Kean, and then we'll go to Misha. So Kean, what's your comments and share and stories from the 40th?
Yeah, so I mean, well, my story, I suppose I started with release 10. I guess I was a school kid when there's a local engineering company that got me in to do some basic sort of Lisp routines for them. And so I was poring over. I mean, this is not the book that I was reading at the time. It's like the R12. The R12 set of documentation was like my Bible for the longest time. Oh, can't really see that because of the background being killed. But anyway, so you've got the R12 documentation there. I used to read it. I used to have it next to my bed. Then, I mean, and at the time, of course, we were using AutoCAD with these things. So, and this is outside of the United States. We used to have to use hardware locks. So this is a bag of hardware locks I picked up when the Neuchâtel office closed. I guess this was the nicest one I could find that has a nice Autodesk logo on it. You kind of, it's really hard with maybe I should turn off the background. Anyway, but I did find this, which was, I think, one that you did have in the US. So let me see if I can turn
Yeah,
off.
we had hardware locks for like 2 releases.
Yeah, so this was for AutoCAD 2.5, and this is like a really hardcore, or even the blurring. I can't even do blurring. You're gonna have to see my living room. Anyway, so this is like an AutoCAD 2.5 dongle. It says computer on one side and then peripheral on the other, of course, which is a parallel printer, port. Found a couple of these when we were closing the office. So this was you already saw the Autodesk file that that Sean showed earlier. So this is kind of like the really professional one. But this was an earlier edition that is, I think this one was actually signed. Oh yeah, it's got John's signature. It's also used to belong to Abel Schmidt, if anybody remembers Abel.
Yes, I've got that same one.
So yeah, so this is a good one. I found, what else did I find? So this was an AutoCAD 2.5 manual. This one was all kind of ring bound. So if we look back at some of the contents here. Oh no, I'm not on screen. Yeah, so this is an interesting one to page through. I've got one in German here as well, I think. And then, yeah, some other bits and pieces. Oh, so this is always worth bringing out this box. I guess people will have fond memories of this release, right? So I joined Autodesk at the R13C3 timeframe, which was kind of the depths of Autodesk history in terms of, you know, technology. I mean, I always talk about the R13 release as being actually the most important release for the company in terms of the architecture of the software. So this is something I've blogged about in the past. You know, people always complained about the quality, but the changes that were made to the code base in the R13 timeframe with ARX, you know, with the introduction of object-oriented code, was so foundational that it built the company. Essentially, Autodesk would not exist today if it wasn't for the pain that unfortunately everybody had to go through with R13 in terms of the quality of the software. But it was an absolutely fundamental re-architecture of the code that has led to everything that AutoCAD became later on. Anyway, so that's probably all I would share from my side, Sean. I mean, I don't want to hog the mic, so I'll hand it over.
All right, Misha, any perspectives on, I mean, we started, I think, at the same time. You should have just hit 24 years as well. But,
yes, we started almost the same time, you know, just a few months apart, you know, so my 25 will be in July. Mentioned it's been a ride. It's been quite a ride. Together with you, Sean, you know, remember those days when we were sitting right next to each other and annoying the hell out of each other.
you were singing.
And loving and annoying at the same time, literally like a family. You know, you were so right when you said it's a family. It is a big family, you know, and I see people here on the call, which, you know, still part of Autodesk or no longer part of Autodesk. And it's such a big chunk of our lives that I don't know, I would like to say it's more than a family, because sometimes you spend more time with people there than with the family, you know. So I'm not going to go into like reminiscing, you've done enough, you know, all I can say is that I put together this, okay, I will reminisce, yes. I put together this fleece. You and I were talking yesterday about this picture with these fleeces, you know, AutoCAD 2000 Tahoe fleeces. And while I started looking, you know, I found so many of those different things which I forgot I had, you know, like Banff and Kirkland and all this, you know, Pine Top, you know, and other things, you know. Unfortunately, what I'm missing is R14 jacket. You know, that one is worn off. That was a classic, absolute classic.
Yeah, my dog ate mine. That was horrible. It was a leather jacket, and on the inside it said the ultimate software machine.
Yes.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah. But it's a family, and thank you for this. Thank you, family, for the lives. Thank you, life, for this family, and thank you, Autodesk, and thank you all the customers, all the users. Thank you.
Thank you, Misha. I mean, you've been behind the scenes and connecting with customers and all that over the years. I appreciate all the effort. I appreciate it all, inside and outside, what made the 40 years happen. And anyway, so if anybody has a story they'd like to tell, we'll open it up before going into another section of the conversation. Just raise your little Zoom hand. I'm looking for that little yellow Zoom hand. Oh, we got one. All right, Hans.
You know, you can't not talk about Autodesk beer bashes. You know, it's I'm thinking about the Sausalito days and how we would have the Friday beer bashes, and we'd have the big room and folding tables out, or, you know, conference table loaded with pizzas, cheap pizzas, a keg of beer, some cheap wine, and we would just all hang out. Everybody, different people would come at different times depending on the release schedule and different levels of stress, but it was always fun, and always a fun group of individuals. There were dogs in attendance. I mentioned in the chat, you know, we can't also speak about dogs at Autodesk. You know, there's always dogs roaming the hall or hanging out and mooching pizza. I can talk about Spencer, if anybody remembers Dan Notek's old Yellow Lab, Spencer, that was the size of a beer keg and would launch into the air to grab a pizza out of the air at these beer bashes. But it was always a good time, and everybody was quite social and having fun amongst all the stresses of release cycles that we had at the time. And that was a crazy thing then, the release cycles of AutoCAD that really defined the company at the time.
And to your point, Hans, I mean, it was the beer bashes and beer busts were never really about the beer and the pizza. It was the people cross-pollinating or waiting till traffic died down. And some of the things that we're missing in the pandemic is, you know, teams bumping into each other going, oh, I got this cool thing I'm working on. I remember that's how some of our early products happened. I'd be sitting down, having a beer with somebody, not know who they were, and they'd say, oh, I'm on the map team, and this is what we're doing. I'm like, you kidding me? We're doing something similar down here, but we're doing it this way. And then, you know, the next Monday, you'd be like connecting up and sharing out with teams and have an idea, and, you know, a feature in AutoCAD would come about 3 months. So, you know, it was never really, you know, just because we love beer and pizza. Well, we did, but it was also just kind of mixing people and cross-pollinating teams. It was genius. You know, the early ones, I wasn't at those ones. The exercise room where they had Hunter S. Thompson show up at a beer bash. That would have been an interesting moment to be there. But
Sean, can I share my screen for a second?
yeah, absolutely.
Please.
Let me.
I don't see the. How do I raise my hand?
There we go. Do it. All right, we got you, Mark. We'll get you up here in a minute.
So I just found, this is from Autodesk Civic Center office in San Rafael in 2005. Just found this holes. These are the small dogs, but you know, some of them were small, some not so small. Anyway.
That's great, seeing those dogs, because my dog he would
Oh yeah.
lay out in the
Excellent.
hallway and, you know, sleep there, and I think all is good. And then next thing you know, I'd get distracted, and then I'd look out there and he'd be gone. And I'd like have to wander the halls to find him. And he'd found whoever it was who would take him into their office, and he was probably mooching. But that was always like, is it okay? Oh yeah, you know, the dog's wandering the halls.
Sean, we have some people who raised hands. Mark, Danya. Sean is frozen, so let's wait for him to come back. And meanwhile, Mark, would you like to talk?
Certainly, if I may.
Sorry about that. Zoom crashed on me. That's always awesome.
Yeah, I'm getting a low system resources message myself here, but the thing that I remember most in seeing your nozzle picture was that I started on a CRT that was 24 inches square and took up a full-size desk and heated the room real well in the winter. But I was when I started out. And
How do I raise my hand? I can't figure out how.
Eric, we hear you. Go on mute, please.
Oh, there we go.
It's under reactions if you click there. But I still remember working it from like 6 in the morning till 5 at night, and then doing work on a board, and then realizing there's got to be a better way. And then you get to school at night and you realized, why are you doing this on a board all day, fool? There's a better way. So it brings back so many memories of classes, night till God knows how long. And it's been very interesting to see the changes that have been made from that version up to today. I've done a lot of the beta testing, and it's just incredible, some of the changes, but I will be quiet and let someone else take the microphone now.
All right. Well, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. And one thing I'll add back to Hans is before I crashed, my daughter, who is now 19 years old, was born while I was working at the company. And as a little girl, anytime she'd visit the office in San Rafael, she saw all the dogs. And so she wanted to come play with the dogs. And so she always called it doggy desk, not Autodesk. She called it doggy desk. So I remember in the Portland office, we definitely put up a ruckus to keep dogs in the new office. And it's part of our culture, along with beer bashes. So, all right, let's get Eric. Unmute yourself and tell us your little story.
Okay.
Well, I was trying to think of the name. I had a question in there. There's the software that actually eventually became Mechanical Desktop that Autodesk had bought. But I'd started with, I was engineer at A&M in 1990, and probably one of the last classes they actually made us do board drafting with for half a semester. And then they showed us this little program called AutoCAD version 10. And I was like hooked. And I mean, I got into it, and then I got into the 3D modeling back when they had to use the extension stuff. And then my senior year, I was given this software, or my guy, the head guy gave me this software. And I can't remember the name of it. It was with me, but I guess the older I get, the more you forget stuff. He said, how would you like to be able to draw a box and then draw a line and then make a 3D model? And then if you decide to change, you can just change the parameter. It's like the first parameter based solid modeler. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. So, well, we got this software. We have there's no instructions and know how to use it. You go figure it out for a semester, come back at the end. And that was like my senior project, my year. I was got an engineering technology degree from A&M. And that's what I did. And then from there, I went on, and then I got into the environment, and I'd been playing with, I got really good at Mechanical Desktop and AutoCAD and stuff, taught it. And then they showed us this Inventor software. So I've been playing with Inventor since beta of R1. And that's my I've just been hooked on Autodesk software all my life. And I do have my original version 12 box, which is background again problem, but that's from college. I was able to buy the the student version locked, and I think my hardware lock is still in there too.
Nice. And that's back when we sold software by the pound.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and by the number of discs too. I remember 30 some odd AutoCAD discs, having to put those on CDs, and I've done all sorts of stuff. But I've been the IT guy and the CAD guy for every company I've been at since, when I'm not selling it.
Yep. All right. Well, hey, appreciate that, Eric. And thanks for coming along the ride. Yeah, the Woodbourne Group is who we acquired, and took what was their software and it became Mechanical Desktop and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
All right, let's get to Danya.
Hey.
Hey.
I posted something in the chat about being with Augie, and one guy goes, "That's where I know you from." So I knew they wouldn't recognize me without. Can you see me? I can't see myself. I mean, I got yeah. I got my Augie vest on because I was always in the Augie booth, my Augie vest and my pins, Augie pins. But yeah, that's what my story with Autodesk has been. It's not so much been with the software as it's been with the people, and especially the user group, because I just gave up my volunteer job 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. No, I guess it was last year, to somebody younger to let them take over the membership that I had done. But the joke about the membership is I used to have to answer so many people's membership questions, and one of them was like, forgot my password, and they couldn't reset it at one point. I could reset it for them to get them in, and then once they were in, they could reset it. And I gave everybody the same password. It was always all Augie. And one guy sees me at Autodesk University, and he says, "Oh, Danya, you helped me out so much. And what's your name? What was your email address? Wait a minute, I think I can remember this. I'm good at this. Wait a minute." did I give you all Augie? And he goes, yes. The guy felt so special. He's on here today. I'm so embarrassed. But he felt so special because I remembered him. And it was fun things like that. And if anybody ever got an Augie beer mug, I probably handed it to you. I used to order them, but it was that side. And then going to the CAD camps. I did CAD camps for years. And Sean, I know you were there at most of them too. But I haven't missed the Autodesk University in the US since they started. And I've been to every one of them. The year they had 4, I was speaking at all 4 of them. So now I'm continuing on with the things in the communities online, and I'm loving it. But
well, we hope to see you in person. Hopefully AU 2022 is able to be held. It's just a matter of health and travel. So we'll see what becomes of that.
Well, you're overdue for a CAD Mama hug, right?
I am. Yeah, definitely need that.
Yeah, people said they didn't want to walk down the hallway with me at AU because I had to stop and hug everybody. I said, yeah, CAD Mama hugs. So yeah, that's my story. But yeah, I started at 1.2 long time ago.
And you've got a popular community conversation series that we've ran here and hope to do it again on Revit. And then you've also got you're now blogging on the Autodesk Community Voices, and we so appreciate that.
Thanks.
All right, we've got some things to wrap up, but I'll get to Dimitro. Oh yes, Dimitro, you want to share your brief story, and then we'll move on to the what we got in social.
Yeah, thank you. I hope you hear me good.
Yes.
Hello from Ukraine. And I have a short story about my experience in old versions of Autodesk software. I am 10 years younger than Autodesk. That's why it can be a unique story. If you can give me a right to share screen, I can share a couple photos from my experience in AutoCAD and 3ds Max first versions.
Can you just show us here?
Yeah.
All right,
about our story. I like community, Autodesk community. I was community manager around a year, and at one of our Autodesk University, we made some interesting stand with old 3ds Max, AutoCAD, and a lot of people try it at old computer. I hope you see those photos.
Yep.
Yes?
Yep.
Good. It's my short story. And you can know Andrei Plaksin, one of the first Autodesk Expert Elite members.
Excellent.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's my short story about my experience in old versions of Autodesk software.
Appreciate that. All right, if you can end your screen share, thank you. And we'll go back to mine. I see we've got more hands raised. Let's just fit in one more, Tim, if you've got a brief story, and then we can get through. We've got a lot of stuff here.
Oh, is this the Tim you're speaking to?
Yes, you had your hand raised. I should have said Tim with his hand raised.
Very good. That's me. And
Yes.
My name is Tim Krofchek, and I've been a user of AutoCAD since release 10. My experience with it was that my first experience was the use of it in the Sun Solaris format.
Oh, wow.
So you had X windows, and it just blew my mind because I'd never seen a PC before with DOS. That good grief, you couldn't resize the windows. You couldn't cut and paste stuff and you couldn't add more memory and just make this thing go like faster and faster. It was like a bizarre experience for me. And then I met these two guys. One of them is your co-host, Robert Burns, and also Tim Dotson. And if you're reading the chat on the side, Tim gave us a little heads up, but these guys were involved in a regional AutoCAD users group called Caddies. Very, very well connected in the Midwest, in the United States. And these guys just blew my mind in regard to what you could do with AutoCAD. I had never seen this before, out of the box stuff, and these guys were totally into it. They were involved in caddies, a lot of fun stuff, crazy stuff, beta testing, prototype, all this cool things they were involved in. And I just ate it all up. We ended up consulting together. Robert started his own consulting company. Tim later on joined in with him. These guys are a hoot. And then they had this BBS, this AutoCAD-based BBS called The Lens from Thailand Engineering. And these guys just, again, expanded the use of AutoCAD, getting Lisp routines, getting drawings in people's hands, block libraries. It was just awesome stuff. And
that's awesome.
You can see behind me, there's an image. I worked for Harley Davidson Motor Company, and these guys drew the site, the corporate headquarters in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in 3D in AutoCAD back when that was just like crazy. So you're just seeing like a single line kind of, a wireframe of the whole corporate headquarters, 750,000 square feet site. So just weird, cool stuff. I dig the program. Robert told me, hey, Tim, this is going on today. Go check it out. And I was really, really happy that he did. And I'm getting to see a whole bunch of stuff. And you guys are really walking me down memory lane here today.
That's
this
awesome,
is
Tim. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And the, I think I've heard of the company, Harley Davidson. But,
yeah, those guys do stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. All right. Let's go to my next slide. So in Twitter and in LinkedIn and Facebook, we've been holding a hashtag ADSK40 to see what we got there, and we're going to give out some prizes. Probably we're getting low on time here. We'll announce them after, but I also want to give the opportunity maybe today if somebody wants to add something more into the ADSK40 hashtag in Twitter and we can catch it. But I mean, if you look at this, somebody used they used our NetFab to do a generative designed cake. Like I was hoping people would be doing, like Robert did, a birthday cake in an Autodesk product. I did not expect to see NetFab used for it. That was pretty awesome. And then we got Vladimir, we got Clint, we got a whole bunch of people. Matt Munch, why do I always say Munch? It's Wunch. He did a 3D floppy, which was awesome. Alex Lobos, his journey from 12 to Fusion 360. There's been a lot of fun. We got the Max and the Maya teams going at it. We got some projects. Carolina, we got this. The one I thought was really cool was this boat, and they did an animation of it. It's a whale boat. Yeah, there's just so much goodness out there. Purvi and her daughter made a cake, and then they used Recap to capture it in 3D. And Jason Cameron used a VM virtual machine to run Autodesk Inventor 1.0. So thinking of some of the prizes, if you have some ideas, reach out to me. But retro birthday creation, I like the 3D floppy from Matt. It was pretty awesome. Best use of a meme, Brandon, he's awesome with CAD Intentions. Got a great bunch of videos on AutoCAD use. He's always good for the good tips and tricks. Brenda, what a great design in Revit. Just looking at things that people have done over the years. Yeah, here's that is this the best birthday cake? I think it is. It's pretty amazing. I want to see them 3D printed now. That would be even better. So anybody have any questions or comments? We're going to wrap this up. We're getting up near the hour. I could honestly, and I know that everybody feels the same. We could probably go for hours on these topics, and it has gone like that. At AU, we'd sit down and we find it be 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. We're just talking the stories. Like, remember that guy that wore the weird shoes, or ate Captain Crunch cereal all the time? Yeah. So it's been an absolute. My mind is blown on this. I'm excited. I've been the unofficial historian since joining Autodesk, and I don't know what. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Dustin brought up, who was the Santa Claus guy at AU? I just saw my photo with him. I don't know. It could have been the real Santa Claus, Dustin. I've heard he uses our products. So,
Oh my God, who's this?
oh, we got somebody that's off mute. All right. Well, that's what I have. I do want to mention that, you know, if you're using Autodesk products and you want to learn more tips, techniques, or network with people, look at our Autodesk Community Conversations, our forums. You know, I have to give a shout out to all this. This is part of our Autodesk community. We've got a ton of resources for you. So, and of course, at ADSK community is the Twitter handle. We've got Diana, who's in right now, and she manages that brilliantly, and it's a lot of fun. It's been a great time watching the hashtag. So thank you very much, everybody, and appreciate your engagement with us at Autodesk and the Autodesk community. And I hope to see you. You know, I can't promise that I'm going to be here in the next 40-year event, you know, at 80, but it would be nice. So thanks for everybody who shared and the stories. And Robert, it was awesome seeing. I think that was 1.2, if I'm not correct. You know, the fun fact is we never shipped AutoCAD 1.0. We shipped 1.1. Just a couple customers, and then went wider with that. 1.2, and you know, Kean, we in the U.S. felt your pain with hardware locks. We had it for a couple until we complained so much they removed them in 2.6. So maybe in Europe, you know, or overseas, you should have complained more. But anyway, again, thank you everybody for the great stories and fun, and you know, add to the hashtag out there in Twitter if you have more things you want to share, and we'll archive those. We're looking at ways that we can kind of digest some of the history of our Autodesk family and community here, and so people can always look at it instead of just the anniversaries. So I will send everybody a link to the recording and post a link. So if anybody wants to join and couldn't get that in the time zone, so I do appreciate it, everybody. This was fun.
Thank you, Sean, for organizing it and running, you know, and making it such a fun for everybody. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm cooking in this fleece.
Thanks.
All right. Cheers, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye, everyone. Thanks. Bye.
See you, Kean. Bye, Robert.
Adios.
All right. That was a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody.